This week, I'm really happy to welcome to the show Scott Wambolt, the CEO of Yangaroo. So, hi Scott, and thanks for making it on. It's great to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, let's start with the basics. And for those who never heard of the company, what is Yangaroo?
Yangaroo really got its start about 10 years ago in the music business and really enables the file-based or electronic-based, internet-based transfer of digital content, whether it be music or video, from production source to broadcast facility.
Yeah.
There's no need for physical media now. The content gets right from the production source directly to the broadcast facility, then it is able to be manipulated and played right on air immediately.
An interesting thing about the company is that, in a matter of a few years, it went from being essentially a startup to being a very large company. So how did the process go for you to to go from being very small to scaling up to working with all sorts of majors and big organizations?
Well, it happened, very progressively and very incrementally over time. I think there was a couple of major developments in the history of Yangaroo, and that really started with being able to build out the footprint of radio stations that were willing to accept content via our DMDS product. So the team worked very, very hard over the years to make sure that radio stations were willing to accept content, were able to accept content, and then we're sort of sitting there ready to catch the content once it came over the transom. And then the team also worked progressively and incrementally with the various different labels to make sure that the various different music labels were comfortable with sending their technology via our technology. And I think it really became an issue around security and making sure that the content didn't leak out onto various different freeforms on the web. So the labels spent a lot of time validating the number one, the quality of the file once it arrived, and number two, the security of the process to get the file from point A to point B. And it really was the advent of what we have a patent on the delivery process, but we also carry some very interesting technology around the biometric password entry into the system. So the system learns how you type and is then able to understand that not only is that the correct password, but with the rhythm of your typing, that it really is you accessing the file. So that security hurdle really had to be crossed, and once the labels became comfortable that the file was not going to be in a non-secure environment, they became much more willing to participate in our network, and then the cost savings just became so great that they really couldn't not look at the project.
Sure, and you work both with majors and independents. So how do you scale your platforms to cater for the needs of these two very different customers?
Well, most of our business right now does come through the majors. I would say, at least 80% of our business does come through the major labels, and really, our business really has been or has grown up really around servicing the labels. We do have some very large customers that are independents, but we are so underpenetrated in the independent space right now that it really is a lot of potential for us right now. And that your question of scaling is a very good one. Right now, the labels represent large accounts that have a long or large lifetime value to us, so we could have afforded in the past to send somebody to visit the label, to structure a bespoke agreement, and to sort of convince numerous people at the label to use our product. Yeah. That's not necessarily the case with independents, or the average independent, which is very small and whose lifetime value may be smaller relative to a label. Yeah. So we have to come up with a much less expensive way to acquire those customers. And search engines and social network marketing are providing us with an ability to really reach those independents when they're looking for services that we offer. They find us, they come to our site, and they can create an account very easily, enter in a payment method, usually a credit card or PayPal or something like that, and then start to transact. They can select the radio stations, or we can make recommendations for them automatically for radio stations that they may want to submit their content to. They click, they pick a package, they submit their content, and it's delivered to the targeted radio stations almost instantly.
And are all the services you provide B2B, or is there a point where the delivery of digital content that you do reaches the consumer directly as well?
No, it's pretty much all B2B. We don't deliver to independent consumers, so to speak. We're not like an iTunes. We really are a professional grade iTunes, so to speak, is we focus exclusively B2B.
a really interesting and specialized feature of the company lies in the DMDS Awards. So that is all geared towards the management of digital workflows for award shows. And you recently implemented that at this year's VMAs. So how is this platform organized? How did you have the idea to make something like this, which is quite unique? And what kind of features does it provide?
Well, the awards platform is a very small part of our business, but it really does help to reinforce the credibility of our solution. The Grammys use our solution, as do the Junos in Canada, and you're right, as do the MVAs. So it really just sort of came out of a relationship that we had with various different music industry insiders, and they said, geez, if you can get files from our studios to our stations, could you also get files from our artists to our judges? So it's on a very targeted basis. So these particular tracks are selected to be voted on, and the voting list or the judge list is very defined. So we email them a notification that this content is available for their review, and then once they review it, then they enter into a voting aspect of the system. They vote, we tally the votes, and we report it back in connection with the various different awards show that we're processing the information for. Again, it's a very small part of our business in terms of revenue, but does a lot for us in terms of visibility and credibility.
And another challenge for the company must have been the point in which you realized that music was not enough, that you had to expand into the video realm, because that was a whole other piece of cake in terms of technology. How did that progress? And when did you realize that video was going to be like the next big thing for you guys?
Sure. Well, it happened around 2 years ago. The team were in with one of our large music customers and just talking about how the system was performing and what they'd like to see on it next. And I think it was a sort of an offhanded comment to say, geez, if you guys could do video, that would be great. And the team took it seriously and asked, well, what would you need to see in terms of technical functionality for us to be able to deliver video, music video? And, the client just rattled off, 4 or 5 specifications in terms of technical as well as workflow requirements that they'd have to see, but really sort of said, good luck, I think this is impossible, you'll never get this done. Team took it away and worked hard for 18 to 24 months or so on what we call DMDS 5.0, which is the latest release of our DMDS product that enables us to transmit both standard definition and high definition video in production or production quality, and get it from the production source to the broadcast facility in broadcast quality. They went back to the music client, showed them a prototype of the product, and they were blown away. And they said, wow, let's learn a little bit more about this. Let's pressure test it. Let's see if it really is as good as it appears to be on the surface. And it is. And it can handle roughly 6 minutes of high-definition video. You can upload your video into our cloud. We send a notification out to the target recipient at whatever music video distribution source it happens to be. They get a notification that the content's there. They can preview it and stream it, or they can download it and inject it right into their on-air play system if they like. And it really has simplified things, both in terms of content providers, but also in terms of content distributors or destinations who are now able to take that content and digitally manipulate it right into their on-air play system versus the old physical media distribution process that they used to have to go through.
Talking about video, the MTV Partnership must have been a huge test on your infrastructure as well, because it was a live event and you had to deliver all the video streams securely over the net. So how did you prepare for an event of this magnitude to make sure that everything went smoothly?
Well, it wasn't that big of a deal, really. Our infrastructure is quite scalable. I think the team did a great job of assessing what the project was going to require up front and didn't overcommit. I think they did a great job of scoping out what was going to be required well in advance. Built the system to be very, very robust and very scalable, to not only be able to handle the Music Video Awards, but also to be able to handle all of the major studios' music videos going out to the distribution sources or distribution targets. So it didn't require a whole lot of investment or change in workflow. I think we put a team on it and made sure that it went smoothly, and if there were any problems, we got a hold of it quite quickly. But in terms of re-engineering of the system, it didn't require anything really significant.
And going from the distribution of music, you actually, because you were working with radios anyway, so I guess that's where you stepped into the advertising realm as well. But how did you transition into the advertising field, and how big a part of the business is that?
Right now, it's virtually zero. We get virtually zero revenue right now from advertising. It represents a huge potential for us, though. Yeah. The advertising content distribution market is an order of magnitude greater than the music and music video distribution market. So it's something that we view to be very attractive to us. I mean, if we can distribute 6 minutes of high definition video content, certainly we can distribute 30 seconds worth of high definition video content or 30 seconds worth of standard definition video content, not to mention 15 or 30 seconds worth of broadcast quality radio advertising. So nothing but opportunity for us right now. We're just in the process of building out our competitive offering and lining up some key partners to go to market with. But right now, 100% of our revenue stream comes from the music and music video distribution market.
Sure. And in terms of international, a lot of the partnerships that are listed on your website are, U.S. or Canadian companies. So how big is the international market for you, and do you plan to expand there as well?
Yeah, well, the international market, particularly Europe and Asia, provide tremendous opportunities for us. We have spent some time assessing the market, and we think that the North American market is big enough for us right now to tackle and prove the concept. Yeah. But we definitely are looking beyond the North American borders for sure.
And finally, where would you like the company to go from here? And what are the most important developments to your business that you see coming in the next couple of years?
Mm-hmm. Well, the company spent a lot of time and a lot of resources developing DMDS5, and it's certainly has had its impact on our financials. So now it's really time for us to monetize the investment that we've put into this, we think, industry-leading product. I think we really need to leverage our footprint that we have in the music business and attach music video to every music customer that we possibly can. Yeah. I think really having an impact in the independent artist space, giving independents the ability to get their music not only to labels, but also get their music directly to radio in a very cost-effective, very targeted, very easy-to-use format is something that's very, very important to us. And then it's the advertising market. I mean, that really, in that order, the volume really kind of ramps up in terms of opportunity for us. So we've really got to get our team in place and our value proposition nailed in the advertising space, and then starting to talk to agencies and starting to talk to various different destinations to see what they think of our product. But the early tests have been very, very positive, and everybody that looks at it seems to really love it. So it's now just, again, taking advantage of the great work that the team has done to develop the DMDS5.
Well, that was great to have you on the show, and I look forward to hearing more from Yangaroo in the future.
Thank you.